This is Tackle Talk Live, an inside scoop on how, when, and where to catch bass, with a primary focus on Toledo Bend and Sam Rayburn. Interviews with anglers who are consistent winners on the tournament trail. Your hosts, Camus Boats Pro Staffer Steve Graff and Gill Fishing Accounts Manager Kevin Jean. Two anglers who understand bass fishing with tournament success on all levels. Anglers willing to share their knowledge to help you become a better fisherman. So sit up and pay close attention as they give detailed tournament information and results. Here are the hosts of Tackle Talk Live, Steve Graff and Kevin Jean.
Welcome to another edition of Tackle Talk Live. It's June the 11th of 2024, right here on the lake, Sibley Lake, right here in Natchitoches, Louisiana, and Kevin Jean's down south in Lafayette, Louisiana. And Kevin, today we got a lot to cover today. We got championship events going on. We got tournaments coming up. Of course, we're winding down our tournaments, but we're going to start off with the Triple T Championship today on Toledo Bend, with one of the winning members of the winning team, Stephen Johnston. We're going to have him on today, talk about their big win.
Yeah, Steve, I mean, it took 57 pounds to win this event, so they caught them 28 pounds on day. Well, I forget what their overall weights were. We'll look at the results here in a minute, but over 57 pounds, I know won it. They had three, the top three winners were over 50 pounds. I think it's 57, 51, 51. So they caught them, just like we predicted last week, Steve, that they were going to catch them. I saw Steven's write-up. He said they caught over 100 keepers in 2 days. And June, yeah. That's impressive. Interesting to kind of hear him break it down, how it went down, what they were looking for, and so on and so forth. So excited to get to this interview and hear all about it.
We've also got the final standings for the Skeeter Owners Tournament. Took place at Lake Fork. Had another great event over there, as we predicted. We expected that. And we've got the results for the Average Joe event that took place on Sam Rayburn last weekend with Outlaw Outdoors. They always do a great job, Kevin. They just do an outstanding job with every tournament they put on.
No, they do. I mean, they've been doing it a while now, and they've got it down to a science. From their marketing, how they do things, to how they run the weigh-in. They're one of the best out there. There's no doubt about that.
Yep, and we've got some lake levels for Sam Rayburn and Toledo Bend. Both these lakes are headed in opposite directions, Kevin. One's going up, the other one's coming back down. I mean, it's kind of weird. You don't know the truth.
It is, Stephen. You know, I think Lake Fork is still what's interesting to me is for Toledo Bend, Lake Fork's got all the floodgates open. It's coming down Toledo Bend. Well, Toledo Bend's got its floodgates open. So it's coming down and going straight out Toledo Bend. But, man, they've done an excellent job of communicating and, keeping the water flow going through. Sam Rayburn's a little different. Those guys are not able to let the water out just because everything below them's already flooded. And the guys there at Sam Rayburn, they know if they let them out, man, they're going to be hurting the people down South Texas, Southeast Texas. So they're having to hold the water back right now, which is making Sam Rayburn go way up right now.
Yesterday, I did notice major current was coming under the 103 bridge, so that tells me they're at least generating.
Right.
And so they are. I think two units are running 24/7, and right now, so there is some current in the lake around the bridge areas, especially. And I did notice that yesterday when I was over there. So we got all that lake levels, and we'll also preview the ABA Solo 150. Looks like going to have a good turnout for that, as we kind of expected, with nothing much going on anymore. And so looking forward to seeing how many guys give the ABA Solo 150 a try. It's a 2-day event, Friday and Saturday. You have to already be registered. And just so you know, Chris Wayan is the tournament director for this, and he's really trying his best to next year have the sign up or the cutoff date as late as Wednesday of next year, which is a lot closer to tournament day than having to do it Monday or Friday of the week before. And he's trying to really open it up where make it easier for guys that maybe they decided they don't want to fish a particular event. They'd rather go fish ABA. Gives them that opportunity to do that next year, a little bit closer to tournament time. So, which I'm all for. The more people we can get in, the better off you are, and more money for everybody. So, but anyway, we got all this and more today right here on Tackle Talk Live. We're going to take a quick break, recognize a few of our awesome sponsors. When we return, we'll have Stephen Johnston, winner of the Triple T Championship from Toledo Bend. We'll have Stephen on next when we return with more Tackle Talk Live.
A good marine dealer is hard to find, but a great dealer is even harder. But in Iowa, Louisiana, there's a marine dealer that falls into the great category. Power Implements Marine, South Louisiana's go-to dealer for all things related to the boating industry. A Minn Kota, Garmin, and Mercury dealer, guaranteeing you first-rate service in both sales and repair. A great selection of new and used boats to choose from, including Skeeter, G3, Ranger, Camus, and Go Devil. A knowledgeable staff that will treat you like family and are always willing to go the extra mile to ensure you walk out a happy customer. To see everything they have to offer, go to powerimplements.com or stop by 606 East Miller Street in Iowa, Louisiana. Plus, mention Tackle Talk Live and save $500 off a new or pre-owned boat or $50 off your first service ticket. Toledo Health is a full-service primary and acute care clinic. Nurse practitioners Jarrett Rule and Melissa Vines bring quality health care that's needed and convenient to the area. Nothing is worse than being sick on your family or fishing getaway. Whether it's a stomach virus or a hook in the hand, Toledo Healthcare will try and meet all your health care needs. Appointments available and walk-ins are always welcome. So the next time you're feeling down at Toledo Bend, stop by Toledo Healthcare, located on Highway 6 just south of Toledo Town, or call 318-508-5323. Very few stores are a complete one-stop shop, but Cypress Knee Outdoors is such a place. A store within a store. Cypress Knee is located inside 3J's four-way. Whether you need gas, food, drinks, or bait and tackle, they have it. Cypress Knee Outdoors carries top-name fishing brands like Strike King, Sandtone, Spro, and V&M. Crappie jigs from Bobby Garland. Need hunting gear? They have it. Ammunition from rifle to shotgun shells. Deer scents from Buck Wild and Doe and Heat. Deer stands from Titan and feeders from T-Hanger. Cypress Knee has it all. Located off I-49, exit 127, just south of Natchitoches, Louisiana. So stop by Cypress Knee Outdoors and let John Abram and his staff show you everything they have to offer. Or give them a call at 318-238-HUNT. You're watching Tackle Talk Live, a show dedicated to making you a better angler. Now back to the guys with all the inside scoop, Kevin Jean and Steve Graff.
This is Tackle Talk Live. Thank you for tuning us in. This segment presented by Toledo Health, 3J's Four-Way, home of Cypress Knee Outdoors, Cigar Fishing Line, and Power Implements Marine, located right there in Iowa, Louisiana. If you mention Tackle Talk Live, you'll get either $500 off the purchase of a new or used boat, or you can apply $50 to your first service ticket. And either way, you win. Tackle Talk Live wins Power Implements Marine. Kevin, we can't tell them to say it enough.
No, I mean, that's that's a lot of money, Steve. $500 off the purchase of a new or used boat, or $50 off your service ticket. So make sure to go by, tell them guys at Power Implements Marine that the guys at Tackle Talk Live sent you and save them some big money.
And on the Tackle Talk hotline, we've got Stephen Johnston, one of the winners of Team Reneau, or Tim Reneau and Stephen Johnston. They were the winners this past weekend with 57.11 pounds of bass over 2 days. And I guess, Stephen, the first thing people would kind of want to know, practice. We're going to talk about practice. How was practice for Stephen Johnston and Tim Reneau?
Practice was good. It was real good. Tim stayed on one end of the lake, and I went on the other end. And one thing, I've been here on Toledo Bend fishing and guiding for 30 years, and we've had some bumps in the roads where Toledo Bend's so hot, and then it's just good, but our good is like way above a lot of other lakes in the country's average. So the pond right now, it's really good. Tim had a real good practice on the south end. I went 45 miles north of him and put in and pre-practice, caught some up there. So I went back on Thursday, and our biggest deal was just trying to figure out what we were going to do, where we're going to go north and then go south, or go south and then go north. And we just kind of looked at it, and Mike Hastings, tournament director, we fish 8 hours. So they let us go at 6. And then when, weigh in at 2 from 2:00, it's got to be, you ain't got a whole lot of time. So we narrowed it down, said, all right, we're going to stay one day one way and one day the other way. And man, it just couldn't happen any better.
So, and I'll get to that in a minute. That's impressive to be able to do that. Like you said, the lake's in good condition. If you can go one way one day and catch 27.5 pounds and go the other way and catch 30, things are good on the home pond, that's for sure. But Stephen, kind of take us through day one. Is it one of those things that did it all go down like first thing that morning? Did you catch them all throughout the day? I seen your report saying y'all caught 100 keepers in 2 days. Kind of take us through day one and how it all kind of went down.
Okay, well, the day one, we wind up heading south just a little bit from Cypress Bend. I don't want to give up too much. I know a lot of people out there listening and all, but Tim has 10 fishes the Brandon Belt Championship for 100,000 here on the Bend here in a couple of weeks. So I'm gonna be kind of vague a little bit, but we went a little south of Cypress Bend there at takeoff, and we just put a 6-inch big crankbait on a 300 and a 500 crank and went to work. And right now there's a lot of current in the lake. There's a lot of those fish set up on some of those outside ridges, and we knew where one group was and really didn't know what was there, didn't know how many. And man, when the crank would hit the bottom, even get close to the bottom, it would just lock you up. And it was just, God, I mean, everybody's fished Amstead and Falcon back in the day when you couldn't even throw without catching one. And that's just kind of how it worked that first morning. I don't know, there was quite a few other tournament boats and some locals watching us trying to get on it. So we just burned them up. We probably caught 40 or 50 keepers in the first 2 hours. And when we left there that morning, we had about, 24 pounds. So we rolled from there and kind of went back up north just a little bit. And, everybody knows, ain't no secret, there's hydrilla all over the lake. And Tim I would say Tim Reneau is the best in the world at it. And he just had dialed in on a few little grass deals, and we started flipping his new jig, and we caught a 5 and then, caught another 5. And when you're putting 4.5, right at 5-pounders on a balance beam, everything's going right. So about 1:00, we caught another one about 5 3/4. And I said, all right, you got to manage your fish to win these things. Yeah. And, and we backed off on them then, and we didn't quit fishing. We kept fishing, but we just never got on anything. So that first day we wound up with a little 27 and some change to start it off, and we were sitting in third place there going into the second day.
So you said you burn up the starting spot where y'all caught 24 or so pounds to start the day with. Day two, did you go back to it at all, or like you said, did y'all start north?
No, we tried to. We ran back down, and there was we were they reversed the field, which is fair on day 2, and there was a couple other guys there that were trying to get on the first day, and I believe some locals that had watched, and they were sitting dead on it. So we just turned and ran up north on one stretch and fished it for a little while, and it just didn't happen. We caught a 3-pounder and we caught a 6-pounder, and it just didn't feel right. So we turned around and made about a 20-mile run and got lined up, and then we caught another 5. And I guess Kevin, the camera guy, got out of the boat about 9:30. And we had a 3, a 5, and a 6 at that time. And we were like, okay, we just need to, let's really pin this down and see what else we can get dialed in. We caught several more 2.5s that did not help. And we did not put those in the live well because you can't cull a dead fish. And, as hot as the water is, and we were taking care of the fish, everything was great. But we caught a few 2.5s and just let them go. The fish were good, and but just playing it safe. And we got on one little old corner, and Tim set the hook on the jig and caught a 2-pounder, and we went about 5 feet, and I caught a 7. And I'm like, okay, now let's let's see. And you know how it is. I mean, we've all fished, and God, just on some of these deals, it's almost like the stars just got to line up right. You don't lose none. You get everything. You make the right move. We went around the corner from there about 500 yards, and there was a boat setting kind of not close, but too close for me and Tim to get. 100 yards. I said, no, we went around the next corner, pulled up, and we really caught 2 5.5s back to back. And
wow.
And now we're sitting there going, okay. And Tim said, now we've got 28, and I'm low ball. I think we got 26. So we fished a little bit more, and then caught another one right at 6, and then we had to put them on a balance beam, and that's when you get some chills down your leg and say, all right, everything is, is lined up, and it couldn't have went any better. I mean, Tim's got a new jig that we've used for about 3 years. He wasn't going to release. He would have liked to wait after the belt to release it, but we just got so much press and so much camera stuff on it that he's going to release it in the next couple of weeks. But it's something special. It's nothing else out there that's ever been done. It's got a big flipping hook in it. It's a line through. It's set up like we snail knot on a regular Texas rig. So when you drop the weight on that snail, that hook pops right up. And this is how this jig is designed. And when you've got braided line or big fluoro, you don't have to jump 3 feet off the deck set hook. You just tighten up and get them. And man, it just, hey, when it's meant to be, it's meant to be. I'm still getting chills thinking about it right now, talking about it.
Well, and Stephen, he's going to release that jig. He's going to release that jig with his company Reneau tackle, right?
Correct. Yes, sir. He is.
Okay.
Yep. Stephen, you bring up a good point. When you talked about practicing separate, there's a lot of guys that don't do that. They in the same boat. They run all over the place. I think it's a great test because a lot of guys would have spun out or could have spun out when you get to your starting spot from the day before and you caught 24, and all of a sudden there's people sitting on it. There's some guys that would spin out on that. They'd have a hard time recovering, saying, "Hey, man, we're done now. We're hosed." But scouting separate gave y'all options, allowed y'all to go fish other places on the lake, and as you and we all know, sometimes you can't have too many places. I mean, you need a lot of spots.
And it is, and not everybody's in a circumstance. Me and Tim, we both got good boats. You can run up and down the lake, have everything. And our biggest deal this tournament was trying to not to kill an hour and a half during the day running from one end of the lake to the other. And because Toledo Bend is so good right now, you've got some grass at towards the dam, okay, towards Indian Creek, Buck Creek down there, okay, and then you've got some grass at Bison. I mean, it's the pond right now is great. I mean, the water's high. I mean, God, I don't know how many fish I caught in the bushes the other day up north. Some 3-4 pounders, and
especially when you find hay grass around them bushes, that's even better.
You're going to, there's a bunch of bluegill up there trying to bait, and I mean, it's just, so we sat down, both of us have fished a long time, and we were like, all right, this is going to be our game plan. We're going to go here. We're going to go there. We didn't spin out. You could have, it was very easy to spin out, but taking off day 2, we thought there was 100% chance we were not going to be able to get back on that cranking spot. And we just didn't have one cranking spot, had like 3, but there was boats on each one of them. And both y'all know me very well, and everybody knows I'm not going to bump somebody's rail and get up and throw across somebody's line. I wasn't raised like that, and it's just the integrity of sport. If somebody beats you there, or you got to have something else to go to. And it was me and Tim talked about it this morning a little bit, and we kind of laughed about it. There was probably 10 other places that we wind up that we got bit, Thursday afternoon and Friday in practice that we didn't even, drop a jig or throw a crank on, and when you have that flow, it's just like, I'm not saying it's meant to be, but, Cole, I knew Cole Moore was going to catch him and his partner. And, we were like, hey, we're going to have to catch 27, 28. And they knew the same thing going out. But, the guys that caught 23, 22, you could catch 35, 38 right now on Toledo Bend. It's pretty crazy to say that, but it's very possible to do.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, you had three. The first 1 through 3 was over 50 pounds in June. I mean, if that doesn't tell you how good Toledo Bend's fishing, if when you got three teams over 50 pounds in 2-day tournament, that's impressive.
Well, and guys, we can all remember the days when it took. If you had a 20-pound bag on Toledo Bend, Stephen, back in early 90s and man, you did something. Today, that don't even hardly get. You can even not get a check and have 20 pounds.
It is, bless heart Corleone that I fished with for many years that passed away. I mean, look back some Angler's Choice and the Bass and Bucks days. I'm, telling my age, way back. I mean, God, Stan Burgay, we had 22 and some change one day, and everybody's like, holy moly, and Burgay come in there and beat us by 1.5 ounces, and those were just unbelievable days. And now if you look at some of the weights and stuff, and just some of the fish, I think there was like 3 9s and a 10 caught, this week. We're not talking about spawn fish. We're not talking about pre-spawn. This is just really kind of summertime fishing. So you look at those 9s and you look at those 10s, those fish are 13 pounds almost right here in the spring, so, the pond's in great shape. And I, and I'm a big catch release guy. I mean, I know everybody's not, but it just shows several of those fish we caught through the tournament and all had been caught before. So, I mean, that, there's nothing wrong with taking a few Kentuckies and stuff on, but for them good largemouth, we could have something special here in another 3 or 4 or 5 years if the pond keeps going the direction it's going.
And Stephen, hats off to the SRA, because, and they're not doing it for us fishermen's sake. Let's just be honest. But man, with the amount of water we've had and the amount of water Lake Fork has had, they got their gates open, but the SRA has done a really good job of getting that water through the lake, not flooding anybody south of us. It's just been a steady flow of water, and it's allowed that grass to survive. Because if they don't get rid of that water and all this water sits on top of this grass, we don't have any more grass.
Yeah.
Yep, it's correct. They've done a great job, and it's worked out good. And one thing, it's worked. Everybody knows I live down here in Fairmount, right below 6 Mile. And it's rained a lot here. It's rained a lot on y'all up there. So it's rained, but like we got a lot of that rain up towards Longview, towards Lake Park. So it's almost like when that water comes in, it pushes our Muddy Creek, Towson, 6 Mile, Coral Road. It pushes that mud back up, and it gives that main lake water time to flow through. And man, it's that hydrilla is growing, and it's, that's the biggest key. I mean, a lot of people are kind of fussing right now about around their docks and stuff. And I just tell them, hey, back your boat up, run back and forth 3 or 4 times with your prop. You grind it up, man, you got no problem, at all. It's so good for the fishery.
No, leave the grass alone. Don't do it.
Yeah. Stephen, do you attribute the great fishing right now, would you say it's management practices, or have the fish always been there, the size we're talking today, and our electronics is so much better now we're able to find those fish?
It's a little of both. I think back in the day, when we all started, I mean, we didn't have, you didn't have as many 6 to 10 pound fish, you have, today, I'm not a live scope guy. Everybody knows that. I use my Humminbird side imaging, down imaging a lot. I don't chase them, but I like setting up on outside ridges, especially with them pulling current, and those fish will set up. And I just think, the way it's set up right now, and I think a month from now, the fish are still going to be set up because the water's still going to be high. We got a bunch more rain coming next week. I think we're in for a long, awesome summer of fishing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the belt next month's going to show out again as well. I mean, last year in July when they came, it was a slugfest, and I think it's setting up that way again.
Correct. Yeah, because last year me and Tim had, I think, 19 a day, and we barely got in the top 10. And and that was in July. So so it's at and here's the deal, everybody listening. You can take a frog and go throw it on the bank right now, and you can catch them. You can take a chatterbait. You can take a wacky worm Cinco. You can take a swim jig. I mean, however, everybody wants to kind of fish like everybody else, but you can really go out and fish the way you like to fish and catch them. I saw some guys up north the other day throwing a wacky worm in a frog, and if they didn't have 25 pounds, they had 23 pounds. Just some of the explosions around. I mean, it was just unbelievable. But it's set up. You don't have to go out there and throw a crankbait and your arms cramp up and have to drink pickle juice like me and Tim did. When you get old, them big cranks hurt. And dropping those jigs in the grass and all. But you can just go out and fish, and you got a chance of catching a big one and a bunch of them.
Stephen, let's change gears. You informed me yesterday your little situation that you've got going on. I know I've been there. I've been diagnosed with melanoma myself. You had just gone through some surgery at MD Anderson for melanoma. Talk about it. Tell us your experience, and then we're going to kind of let people know you got to take this stuff seriously, guys. If you don't have a dermatologist and you're an outdoorsman, you're an angler on the water a lot like me and Stephen and Kevin are, you better find you a dermatologist ASAP, because that is critical to catching this early, isn't it, Stephen?
It is. And everybody knows I spend over 300 days a year on the lake, and I've done it for 30-something years. And I'm not going to say I'm the best, but I'm good. I always wear long sleeves, and I don't wear a lot of long pants. I didn't. But just to make this quick, a month ago, lady that cuts my hair, and she said they're trained for it. Your hairdresser, the guys at the barbershop or what. She saw a little bump on my head, and she said, "Hey, Stephen, that don't look just right." So she said, "You need to have that looked at." And I said, "Okay, well, me, you, Kevin, we're all, wow, shoot, I'm fine. So I called the dermatologist and talked to them in Beaumont, and they just said, "Hey, you're due in here 6 months from now. We'll just wait." And I said, "No, I think I need to get in there." So I was at Rayburn a week later, and they called and said, "You can be here at 3:00. We can see you." So, shoot, I told my customers, "Hey, we got to go." And I went and dropped the boat off, went to Beaumont, and they looked at it, and they said, "Oh, it's nothing. We don't think it's nothing to it." So they took a sample from me, and a week later, I'm in Del Rio, Texas, turkey hunting, having a big old time of my life. Me and Robin and Buddy Mike from Arkansas sitting there, and the phone rings. And when that phone rang, it changed my life. I'm gonna get emotional talking about it, but they called and they said, "We got some problems. We need to address." And I said, "Okay," and said, "The one on top of your head come back melanoma." And boy, that's life changing. Just like you, Stephen. It's like, all right, what can we do? Well, what's options? What do I need to do? This and that. And said, well, let's get you in the MD Anderson, and Dr. Morrell over there is one of the best in the world, and all he does is melanoma. And let's go. So it took a couple weeks, and I got antsy about that, and I had surgery. I guess about 12 days ago, because I was on lockdown. Everybody that's on my Facebook stuff knows I was on lockdown for 8 days. I couldn't get hot, couldn't get sweaty. They took about a silver dollar piece out of the very top of my head, and I got good margins. Everything's good. Everything's clear. I go back in 5 weeks for a checkup, and then I will be going back to MD Anderson every 2 months for 2 years, and then I will go once every 6 months. Everything's clear for the rest of my life. But the doctor said, he said, "Stephen," he said, "how long have you fished?" And I told him, my entire life. And he said, "Okay, what's wrong with the top of your head?" And I said, "Man, I wore a visor. Kevin, you know it. Steve, I wore a visor for many years. Put sunscreen all over. But Stephen Johnston never put no sunscreen in his head." So anybody that's out there, take those visors, take your summer ball caps, and I hate to say it, but get rid of them. You need to wear a cap running, but when you stop, you take that cap off, Put your big sun hat on. I've got long sleeves. I've always wore long sleeves, but I got me some gloves. There's a bunch of different brands out there. Go to the tackle shop. Go and try a bunch of gloves on. Get what feels right. I got me some new, long pants. And and when you see me, a bunch of people, see me on the water and stuff. I got a new mask to wear. So the mask deal for me has probably been the biggest deal, because early in the morning you'll get fogging issues with the mask. So there's several masks out there. Not saying one's better than other, but try a bunch of different ones. Columbia's got some good ones. Hook's got some. So try them. But moving forward out there, I think there was, I don't know how many comments over all this on my social media stuff that my wife takes care of, but I think there's been 40 something people commented that they had something that they didn't want to go, that were scared. But after, listening to me and seeing what's going on with me, that they're going. So if you even hesitate, if you think you've got to fight, or you haven't even been, go. I mean, it don't take anything to go in. They look over you, if they see something, they take a little swap and move forward. But man, life's too short. We got too many more fish to catch, and let's all take care of ourselves and really watch it.
I had an experience with a co-angler 2 years ago at Lake Palestine. This was right during the peak of part of my ear being removed and my melanoma scare that I was going through and all the treatments I was having to go through. And he had a spot on his knee. And he asked me, he said, man, what you think? And I said, dude, let's take some advice from me. Go get that checked. I said, because you want to catch it early if you can catch it early. And he called me the next week and he said, thank you for telling me to go. He said, because it turned out it was basal cell and it was headed for melanoma real quick. Within 3 weeks, they said it probably would have ulcerated and would have become melanoma. And he said, I can't say thank you enough, but he said, you saved me. So I'm just telling you guys, it's important you take care of your skin, because we all played ball growing up. We grew up shirtless and shorts, barefoot. I mean, I hauled hay shirtless. I mean, I grew up on a ranch shirtless and wore shorts. I mean, that sun exposure over all those years takes its toll on you guys. And we may think we're bulletproof when we're in our 20s and 30s, but you're not bulletproof. Melanoma does not discriminate, does it, Stephen?
No, sir. And, and we all are so careful and watch it. And wearing those big hats when the wind blows and stuff, they're no fun. They're not.
No, it's not.
They're not. But there's a bunch of different brands out there, and get you one. And I'm gonna tell you this. I'm sitting there in MD Anderson, and the nurse is coming in, and one of the head nurses walked in there, and she looked at me. She said, "Do you fish or you golf?" And I said, "I fish." She said, "Okay." So just don't think that if you fish, that's it. I mean, from the loggers to the golfers to, the highway people, anybody that's outdoors in the sun, just call your doctor, get a referral to the dermatologist. One guy even said, "Dadgum, Stephen, I think your new sponsor's a dermatologist around here or something." I said, "No." I said, "If I can save one person, then out of all this, Steve, thank goodness you got good results. Hopefully moving forward, I'll get good results, and we'll just spread this." And, it's just, it's emotional, but hey, we've got great doctors. We've got everything great in this United States of America to take care of us. Thank goodness. And we just need to use it. But guys and girls, don't be too bad. Oh, that's not me. Because guess what? Yeah. If it happened to Stephen Johnston, Steve Graff, it could scary get you too.
And look, don't wait till you're 50 to 60 to go. I'll be 39 this month, and at 35, I found they had a precancerous spot on my back. And luckily, like Steve said, I get checked once a year. I've been doing that since I was 30, just because I'm outside like you guys are as often as I am. At 35, if I would have not got checked and caught that precancerous spot, there's no telling what it could have turned into at such a young age. So yes, absolutely. You know, you need to start. I don't care what age you are. If you're a fisherman like we are and out in the elements at all, you need to get checked at an early age and get checked yearly. So.
And I do want to recommend one hat. It's being an old cowboy, being from East Texas, growing up on a ranch. Stetson makes one. This hat right here is not only SPF 70, whatever. It's also got something built in for mosquitoes and stuff like that. But it's also got sunblock built into it. And I'm telling you right now, Stetson makes these hats. They're very affordable. They're great hats. They're very comfortable. They even look good on you. And it takes a lot to make this look good. But anyway, hey, get you a good hat and make sure it's got something in the top like these Stetsons have. It's got a pad in the top, but the sides are all vented so it doesn't get real hot. I actually love wearing the hat, except like Steven said, when it's real windy, you got to use the strap around your neck to keep that sucker from blowing off, but that's okay. We just deal with it. Another thing too, don't forget about sunglasses, guys. I see guys out there fishing don't wear sunglasses much. This is good protection, not just for your eye area, but around your eyebrows. I had a spot on my eyebrow that just would not get well. We ended up treating it and had it burned off. But sun protection for your eyes and that eye area, make sure you got a good pair of sunglasses. So that also comes in handy. But anyway, Steven, hey, man, we appreciate you, dude. Thank you very much for spreading that word as well as giving us some good insight on y'all's huge win, man. Congratulations on your big win.
Hey, I appreciate you, Steve, Kevin, and I hope you'll have a great day. And just remember, y'all, just, pay attention. Even if you don't think you have anything, it don't hurt to take half a day off, run in there and get checked over and make you sleep easier at night. So hope everybody has a great week and everybody be safe on that water. That water's high. There's quite a bit of stuff floating around, Toledo and Rayburn bows. So while you're running around, man, keep your eyes on that boat lane while you're running. Watch for that floating timber.
Yep.
Good deal.
Yep.
Thanks, Steve.
Thank you, bud. Appreciate you, Steve. You too. Stephen Johnston, man, didn't get better than that right there, Kev. Great advice. Great segment right there. And I'm just telling you, guys, just yeah, I can't stress it enough. Get yourself checked out. But anyway, enough of all that. When we come back, we got lake reports. We got lake level reports. We got the results from the Triple T. Kevin will go over all that. I'll give you the Skeeter owners results, and Kevin will go over the average Joe. And we'll also preview the Solo 150 coming up on Rayburn this coming weekend. You're watching Tackle Talk Live. We'll be right back.
Pride Rods, custom-built fishing rods made to handle any and all techniques. Fishing rods designed for sensitivity and made to last in Montgomery, Texas. Built by Billy Kistler with the finest Gary Loomis North Fork composite blanks available. They offer a complete line of spinning and casting rods for both fresh and salt water. Pride Rods do more than pass the eye test. They excel in performance as well. Ask your local tackle dealer if they carry Pride Rods and pick one up to try it for yourself. Take pride in your fishing by using Pride Rods. To learn more, go to priderods.com or call 832-418-6040. The Lakes Insurance Agency is an independent insurance agency taking care of Texans' insurance needs for over 25 years, offering auto, homeowners, boat, RV, life, health, and commercial insurance. Owner Clark Moore is a local fishing guide and tournament angler who understands your insurance needs and wants to be your go-to guide for all your insurance needs. For a free quote, give him a call and see why so many Texans trust the Lake Insurance Agency. 2 locations to serve you in both Nacogdoches and Bravos, Texas. Or give him a call at 936-205-4467. The next time you're headed for Toledo Bend or Sam Rayburn, stop by Keith's Toledo Bend Tackle. They have an awesome supply of everything you'll need to catch the big ones. Whether your trip calls for bass fishing, white perch tackle, catfish bait, or the ultimate fighting shiners, Keith's Tackle has you covered. Keith and former Elite Series pro Ben Matsubu also have the latest information on what, how, and where you need to be fishing on Sam Rayburn or the Bend. So for all your tackle needs, check out Keith's Toledo Bend Tackle, located just off Highway 21 on the Texas side of Toledo Bend, or call 409-625-0181. You're watching Tackle Talk Live, a show dedicated to making you a better angler. Now back to the guys with all the inside scoop, Kevin Jean and Steve Graff.
Welcome back to Tackle Talk Live. This segment presented by Cigar Fishing Line, Pride Rods, Keeps and Tackle, the Lakes Insurance in Nacogdoches, Our Marine, located in Iowa, Louisiana. Kevin, tell us what happens if you mention Tackle Talk Live with the dogs in the background.
Yeah, somebody's at my door and they are not liking it. $500 off any boat, any used or new boat bought from Power Influence Marine, or you get $50 off any of your service tickets. So,
hey, and Kevin, where are we at on our viewership numbers? Where are we at right now?
1,999 subscribers on YouTube, Steve. So need to, guys, we want to hit that 2,000 subscriber mark immediately. So if you're listening, make sure you are subscribed on our YouTube channel. Go in, hit the subscribe button. Let's hit those 2,000 viewers while we're here on the show today.
And if you are the 2,000th viewer, I think it's a $10,000 prize package. Is that right, Kevin?
I don't know, unless you're paying that.
No, we're just kidding. But anyway, all right, let's move on here. Tackle Talk. Triple T, Texas team trail results from Toledo Bend. Kevin, give us a rundown, first 5 or 10 of those.
So, Steve, go to the next results. You do the next results. Let me see what's going on here.
Okay, all right, I'll take that.
Give me just a minute.
All right, go ahead. Here's the Skeeter results. Let's see here. Where are we at here? There we are. Here's the Skeeter results from Lake Fork, Texas. Let me put my eyes on here. Had a really good turnout. Had 136 boats participate in this tournament. Bernard Ewan, he won this event from Farmersville, Texas. He had an 8.81 pound fish. He won a brand new Skeeter FXR 21 foot with a 250 Yamaha show on it. Skeeter built trailer, the whole 9 yards. Just a great prize package. Monty Sewell from Taylor, Arkansas. He actually won the other boat. He won a Yamaha Viking side-by-side. He had, I guess, the biggest under. He had a 2.91, and he won the 2024 Yamaha Viking 6 ES side-by-side. Let's see here. Finishing second overall, Jamie Ward from Killeen, Texas, had an 8.27. Todd Jackson from Shreveport, I know Todd, he had an 8.14 for third. For fourth was Brandon Renicky, Clifton, Texas. He had a 7.66. Chad McDonald from Zachary, Louisiana, had a 7.42. So congratulations again. Monty Sewell was the guy with the biggest over. He had a 2.91. Second place for I said under. He had the biggest under, a 2.91. And then from Frisco, Texas, there was a 278 weighed in by Remy Reed, a 275 by Kendra Corley from Gavin, Oklahoma. Borger, Texas native Shay Berzink, he had a 2.70. So congratulations to all those guys. Again, they had 136 boats show up for this event and had a good turnout, and they caught some big ones. Kevin said we had 1, 2, 3, 4. We had 5 overs in this event. So a good turnout.
We talked about that last week, Steve, how good Lake Fork was fishing, and we thought there would be several overs caught. So
yeah,
Lake Fork, Toledo Bend, both fishing really good. Sam Rayburn's fishing pretty good. You know, the 15 pounds, that's 3 fish now. That average Joe was a 3-fish tournament.
Yeah.
So all lakes are fishing. Rayburn, Toledo Bend, Lake Fork are fishing extremely well right now.
All right. So go ahead. You got Texas Team Trail?
I do. So, of course, Stephen Johnston, Tim Reneau had a little over 57 pounds to win that event. This 2-day tournament, guys. Kobe Miller, Cole Moore had a little over 51 pounds. Rusty Miller, Colby's dad, and Ricky Stevens had a little over 51 pounds. I'm sorry, my ounces is cut off here. But fourth place, Joshua Rogers and Casey Burley had 49. Fifth place, Hunter Moncrief and J.D. Clark had 46. Sixth place, Larry Bird and John Durio had 45. Seventh place, Russell Cecil, Ty Castledine had 44. And then eighth, ninth place was 41 pounds, kind of went on down from there, Steve.
Yeah. And and again, good turnout for the championship. Of course, you had to qualify for that. Right. And I think they had right at 60 teams, I think, qualified for this event. So Toledo Bend, and these ain't just anybody. These ain't just Joe Blow teams. No. These are teams that there's some sticks in this tournament. And even our good friend Kevin Lazion and Randy DeSpino, as good as they are on Toledo Bend, they finished 17th overall with 35-10. And just again, great event, a good tournament by everybody. So Outlaw Outdoors, Kevin, Joe, the average Joe's.
Let me pull it up here. So average Joe, again, this is 3-fish tournament, 3-fish limit. Ben Vaughn, Jared Dean had 1542. Jason Hobson and Donald Luker had 1350. Ryder Longyen and Jeffrey Longyen. Third place was 1265. Kind of goes down from there. Let's see, they paid. I'm still going. I'm still scrolling. They had almost 100 boats, Stephen. I have the first place results all the way down to 24th was $200, and I think they paid on down even further than that. But I've only got the first page here. Yeah. So 15 pounds wins that event. Big fish, a lot of 6-pounders. I don't see anything over 6 pounds weighed in. You know, that Texas Team Trail event, they had 2 9s and a 10 weighed in. You had the 5-overs caught at Lake Fork. So, again, good fishing on all the ponds right now.
Yeah, it really is. Upcoming events, Kevin, real quick. Give me your thoughts. ABA Solo 150. It's the final event for the Solo 150 series, June 14th, 15th. That's just Friday, Saturday. It's too late to get in it now if you're not already entered. And but I think they're expecting, and from I talked to Chris Wayan this morning, we were texting back and forth. Tournament director, he's expecting a good turnout. Looks like already quite a few have already signed up for this.
Yeah, well, I mean, they can't sign up anymore. So if you're in, you're in. If you're not, you're not. So I do expect them to have a good turnout for this event. The Outlaw Outdoors Father's Day tournament is going on this weekend as well. So if you want to fish and you're not signed up for for the Solo 150, again, it's too late to get in that event. So you can fish the Outlaw Outdoors Father's Day tournament that they do. Not much going on Toledo Bend. To my knowledge, I'm pretty sure nothing going on Toledo Bend this weekend. Yeah. They do have some things coming up, some benefit tournaments coming up, which we're going to discuss coming up on Toledo Bend soon. So the Solo 150, Steve, Rayburn's fishing well. It's still extremely high. I do expect them to have a good turnout. I expect them to catch them pretty decent. So, 2-day event. You better go show up and catch them if you want to get a good check.
Yeah, and looking at the lake level, let's go over that real quick. Speaking of Sam Rayburn, right now it's at 171.97. That's a difference of 7.57 feet above pool. I was there yesterday. It's different than my last trip over there when it was 6 feet low. It's a totally opposite of what it was 2 months ago. 10-day gain of 1.93 feet in the last 10 days. Has come up almost 2 foot. 24-hour gain of 2.28 inches. Now, I did notice, and I think I told Kevin off the air, that there is current in the lake. I was at the 103 bridge yesterday, and a lot of current was coming through there. That told me they were generating. When I looked it up, 2 generators are running over there at Toledo Bend 24 hours. They're running them, and but they're not releasing a bunch of water, only enough water for generating, I guess, to keep the electricity level up or whatever they're supplying for whoever. So anyway, Toledo Bend, 172.56. It is a difference of 6.72 inches high, 10-day gain of 4.56 inches, 24-hour loss, 1.8 inches. So they've got the gates open, as Kevin's already talked about. It is falling right now. Rayburn is not falling. Rayburn is on the rise. Those of you headed over there for the ABA or the Father's Day tournament, it is on the rise. The lake is still continuing to come up right now. Will that change between now and this weekend? Possibly. If we don't get any more rain, it may start to gradually come back down slowly. But it's not. They're not going to drop the bottom out of Sam Rayburn. That ain't going to happen. No. But anyway, Kevin. Fishing for Lydia tournament.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about
tournament. Little girl right there in Natchitoches, Louisiana. They're doing a benefit. Let's see here. It's I don't even want to try to pronounce support for Lydia's battle with Filippo syndrome. It's a children's Alzheimer's, basically, but little girl right there in Natchitoches that could definitely use everybody's help. The tournament is Saturday, June 29th at Cypress Bend. We'll share the information on our Facebook page for anybody wanting any information on that one. Entry fee is $225 per boat. So we'll share it on our Facebook page there today if you want information on that. But be looking for that coming up.
Yeah. Hey, and Kevin, next week we'll between the two of us, we'll do a little more research. A Zach Burge incident took place this past week at Chowan Lake. He got DQ'd. One day got DQ'd. He lost 7 fish. They didn't count. We'll talk more about that next week, but we want to get our facts. There's a lot to
still come out about that. I mean,
yeah.
I know Zach. I like Zach. I believe what he is saying. He asked for permission from the tournament director. He got granted permission to take the plug out of his boat. And then they come back and told him that the tournament director called him back and told him he was basically his catch did not count because he did that, even though he had permission to do it. Yeah. They were faulting him for it. So there's going to be a lot more to come out on this, Steve. And I'm going to look forward to hearing Zach's, more detailed version of exactly how it went down. This is what I'm hearing that happened. So there's going to be a lot to come out of all this.
Yep.
If that's what happened, I mean, and I trust Zach. I mean, I believe Zach.
Oh, I do too. Everything I've seen
and read about something like that. If he got permission to do this from the tournament director, which he's saying he did, and they're going back and saying he can't, and now he's got DQ for it. It's
all going to be what's written in the rules, because this has happened before in a couple other situations, which I can make light of next week, where tournament directors have said, yes, you can do that. And it's superseded by the rules where they've had to come back and say, the tournament director told you wrong. No, your weight will not count today. It's written in black and white right here. This is the rule. And so the rules do supersede any decision anybody makes. If it's written in black and white, that's what has to be implemented and enforced on.
But what do all of us do, Steve?
Who's the first person we call? We call the tournament director. That's exactly right. And it's up to tournament directors to know their rules. So we always get on fishermen for not knowing the rules. Hey, tournament directors got to know the rules too. So in some cases, they wrote the rules, so they should know them. But anyway, in this case, I'm sure the tournament director did not write the rule for MLF. But anyway, we'll have a little more detail on that next week as this story becomes more clear. And we don't want to start anything right now that we don't know for sure. So we will cover that next week. Anything else you got, Kev?
I think that does it for this week, Steve.
All right, man. Hey, we appreciate everybody tuning us in. Please check us out on our YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, whatever or how you listen to a podcast. Check them out. If you'd like to become a member of our sponsorship team, please send us a message on our Facebook page, and Kevin will make sure he sends you a detailed packet on how you can make that happen for you and your business. For Kevin Jean, yours truly, Steve Graff. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again next week with more Tackle Talk Live.